The Gentleman Show is online.
The vast web of wires and cables.
Check out our website at gentlemenonair.com. That's gentlemenOnTheAir.com.
Great way to meet eligible men who can afford a computer.
You'll find the TGS blog, the podcast archive containing every show we've ever done, and a bunch of other crap you'll probably never even bother to look at. Log on now and ignore most of it at gentlemenonair.com.
The summer of interviews continues here on The Gentleman Show. You know, we like our rock bands here, don't we? I noticed that.
We do. We are rock lovers.
Yeah. I'm a rock head.
You're a rock. You got rocks in your head. I mean, I don't know if that makes you a rock head, though.
Yeah,
why you gotta be so mean?
I hurl insults. It's what I do.
I guess so.
Don't leave yourself open. Don't let your guard down. That's what happened to you.
You're breaking my little heart, man.
You hurt his brain.
Yeah, no. This week, though, this is a band that has been around for some time. They've been really popular. They've kind of been quiet the last couple years, but this is their big comeback now. We're in the upswell of this.
Their upswell is coming on the Gentleman Show?
Absolutely. How could you say anything different?
We are the forefront of music.
The three front.
We are the thick hard tip of comebacks. That's just
we're just the tip, just for a second, just to see how it feels.
So you ready to do this interview? Ready to talk to this guy?
Let's do it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We have Tony Housh from Seasons After on The Gentleman Show right now. Welcome over to the show.
What's up, brother?
Hey, we're glad to have you here, man. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us tonight.
Hey, man, anytime. Anytime we can get and have a conversation about what we're doing, it's exciting.
Yeah, no, you guys, I mean, you heard what we just said. You know, you're kind of on the upswell now of a big comeback, right? You got a brand new album out. You got a brand new single called Weathered and Worn, which is currently, last time we checked, was at number 42 on the Active Rock charts. So, I mean, this is a big time for you guys.
It is. It's very exciting. And like you guys had said there in your intro, you had talked about us being quiet and not really doing much for several years. So, you know, having to go through that and being able to get out and actually have a song that's kind of, you know, getting some attention given to it is extremely exciting for all of us.
Absolutely. Now, the 3 years that you were quiet, there is a reason for that. You were in a bit of a dispute with your former record label. Would you be willing to talk about that at all? Like, what did you guys go through all that time?
Man, you know, that began, and I think when we started knowing that we had problems was maybe like early 2011, okay. And we were in the midst of writing this album that's out right now, and we weren't really sure kind of what was going on. It was kind of, the communication had really broke down, I guess you would say, and it ended up that we just had to kind of get quiet and not do anything, but in the background we wrote music and tracked the music so that if we ever did have an opportunity to get out and put the music out and do what we love to do again, then, you know, we would have our product and we could roll with it. But we didn't know if it was going to take, 6 months or like it took about 2.5 years.
Did that make you worried about the band's future? I mean, when it's just quiet and nothing's happening, does it make you question, like, is this going to continue? Are we actually going to be a band still?
Yeah. I mean, I personally went through some serious depression over that time frame. I mean, still moving on as far as keeping your life together, but it was tough to wake up and know that, hey, I can't do anything right now with music, which is,
wow.
I'm one of those people that I'll live with nothing if I can play music rather than work and have something, just because I love music so much. You know, I'm just one of them crazy musicians. So it was a real bummer to kind of be forced to go and do things that I wasn't happy spending my time doing.
Well, yeah, for you, I mean, when that's your passion, I mean, that'd be like somebody looking at you and saying, hey, don't breathe for about 3 years for me.
Yeah, and to know what our position was, and just the guys that I work with, I'm fortunate to work with, you know, I knew that for the first time in all the years that I had played music, I was with people that cared about it as much as I did. And so, for me personally, it was a real bummer, and the rest of the guys too. But as far as our unit, there was never really a question amongst the four of us as to whether we would go on whenever we were freed up. I think we all knew that we would do it. Just was going to take time. So it was a rough time, but I think over that time frame, we made a lot of really good things happen. We have not signed with a label yet. We do use Statement as our distribution,
right? But
we're an independent band. And we've learned a lot about the business over the years and trying to understand how it worked and what happened to us and how could we avoid that from happening again.
And see, that's the good thing about the whole dispute thing is now that in the past you got the bright future there ahead of you with Pavement, as you had mentioned, and now with that indie status that you do have with Pavement, do you consider the whole band to be in a better position right now? And why does that see? Why are you in a better position now?
Well, in the past we traveled in a van and pulled a trailer. And there were times we would have mechanical problems. There was no money available.
Bragger.
Either coming. Do what?
I said bragger.
No. I'm not saying that we've got money now. What I'm saying is,
No, I meant bragging about having to ride in a trailer and all that stuff. That's our dream, to drive in a trailer.
Yeah, we got to walk everywhere we go.
No, the difference is there's a lot of big differences. Now we have a nice vehicle, a big motor home that we're able to travel in, and we're actually able to take money back to ourselves and make a little money off of it, and we control everything that we're doing now. We actually know where every single dollar is spent because we make the decision to spend that dollar. That's a big deal.
Yeah, and you see a lot of bands doing that these days, I've noticed. A lot of bands are kind of backing away from their labels and going independent. I mean, maybe it's because they're experiencing the similar things that you do, which, leads me to ask, do you think the experience that you've had, like, with that label, and now, like, considering the position that you're in now, do you think, like, your experience is reflective of the industry at large? Like, maybe we just don't hear about it, but do you think a lot of other bands are going through similar situations?
I absolutely believe that, yes. And the reason you don't know about a lot of those bands is because when they start having their issues, they're hush-hush, just like we had to be.
Right.
And you don't know. They just drop off the map, and it's one of those things where you're sitting around with one of your buddies, and one of their songs come on, you're like, hey, man, what happened to this band? They were a great band. Well, that's what happened to them. They were put on lockdown, and it was over with, and they couldn't talk about it. They'd get in trouble.
They were devoured by the machine, as it were.
And it is a machine, and it's not that it's just completely bad and all of, I'm not trying to sound just completely negative, but, when I put my name on those lines, and the other guys as well, we did not understand what we were doing because we said, hey, you got a record contract, you want to blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. I've been wanting to do that since I was a little kid. I'm there. Well, it's not. It doesn't work that way.
Right.
And we didn't know that, and it was a hard lesson. But, hell, this last album, we tracked it, produced it ourselves, wrote all the music, and we're pretty proud of that,
Great.
We've been able to take that far independent with it.
Tony, because of everything that's happened and all that you've been through, do you feel like that helped write the album that you have out now, Calamity Scars and Memoirs?
Yep.
And do you feel like what you've been writing is going to help with your future and writing into a following album?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This Calamity Scars and Memoirs, it's more of a, I hate to say it like this, but it's kind of a whiny album in some ways. But
that's okay.
And I helped write it, so I'm going to just put myself out there like that. But it's got its whiny points, but that's where we were, we were writing about what we were feeling and what we were going through in different scenarios, whether it was the personal side of our lives that were being affected, or, a song like we had, Lights Out, which is more directed at the people that we were dealing with.
Right.
But it's all a little bit whiny, where actually the next album, which is already written,
wow!
I started recording the vocals on it in 2 days.
Whoa!
Yeah, we've got a ton of music.
Well, you got to figure you've been writing for like 2 years, and I was gonna say maybe not so much whiny, but there's a lot of emotion fueling these songs, because you went through a hell of an experience, and now all that time, you said you couldn't do anything with music. A lot of emotion went into it, and I think you can really tell that on the album.
Yeah, there is, and this next album, like I said, I start laying vocals here in 2 days on it, and there's a different animal happening with it. It is more directed at, ball your fist up, swing, and beat the hell out of something to get what you want.
Yeah.
Don't let others try to stop you. It's more of a stand up for yourself, and you can do and be what you want to be type album, So yeah, it's the experience of the first one and then moving into this one has definitely made a huge difference in our writing and the way we write and the things that we're writing about.
So what are we looking at a release date for the next album?
Boy, I would be a liar if I said anything like I knew what I was talking about. That would be just a fib coming from me straight out my mouth. But I would look to see it. I would say later this year.
Oh wow! So already,
Nice.
so because Calamity Scars and Memoirs came out in February, I think. Is that correct? I thought I saw somewhere that it came out back in February.
Yes.
Okay, it was February.
Well, it came out. We released it September of 2014 independently, and then it was released through your retailers through Pavement and
Right.
Tony Red in February. So here's the deal: like with us putting another record out so quickly, is because we never wanted to stop in the first place.
Right.
And we said in the beginning, when we get free of this, we are going to keep these things just flying out on top of one another because we can, you know.
Absolutely.
And so
You've been bottled up for
that's
3
another
years.
thing. Yeah, and like there was, I think, 60 plus songs that were written during that time that are piled back. So it's just a ton of material sitting back that's ready to be pumped out. And there's, you know, Weathered and Worn will be our last single off of this album, and we want to just be able to follow up with a new album, a new single, and just keep on going, you know, never stop pushing.
So what you're saying is you have all that backed up from the years that you weren't able to do anything. So we have, you know, this album out now. You have another album saying you're later on this year, and then we can expect another album probably, you know, not too far in the future after that one, correct?
I would say so, yeah.
Let's shoot for one album every quarter in 2016.
It's like
Let's pull
Marvel
that off.
movies. Let's do it. Release albums like Marvel releases movies.
There you go.
Well, you know, it's difficult for a band to break itself or re-break itself, and Calamity Scars has allowed us to become kind of a part of the scene again.
Yeah.
But the fear is with us is, or with anyone, is that if we step back and pull off the throttle at all after this album's wrapped up and say, oh, you know, let's go home and take a break or something, we're going to lose what we just gained and have to fight that much harder to get back our spot where we're at. So our theory is to just keep on going.
So are we going to see you out on tour anywhere? Because I'm kind of hoping maybe you guys, you know, I've been following the band for years now. I'm hoping I could see you guys live somewhere. Are you on tour right now, or are you planning a tour at all in the near future?
Yeah, we're putting a tour together right now. We were out, and then I believe it was like 2 weeks ago we got back in, and there was a couple things that needed to be handled from one of our members. And so we decided, okay, back off, let him handle what he needs to take care of. And we're just taking advantage of that time. There is a tour being booked right now, but the time down we're using it to, you know, track and get ahead in the other areas.
Is that going to be like a nationwide tour, or like where can we see, or is it more of a regional thing?
I think this one here is going to be a Midwest thing.
Okay.
And work maybe a little out to the west.
All
like
right.
I said, I'm not booking it, but it's sort of the rumors that I've heard.
Well, I don't know if you've heard, but Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania is the Midwest of Pennsylvania. So you might want to stop by
we'll
here.
try to get it on there.
Yeah, come east, man. I mean, I'd love to see you guys. You know, that'd be awesome if you came out this way at some point within the next year or so.
Where are you guys, actually?
We're in like the Scranton area of Pennsylvania, sort of.
Northeast PA.
If you
I
remember,
got you.
yeah, the show The Office, we're right there.
Right on.
We usually use that as like the sort of like the geographic locator because everybody's heard of that show. It's like, where are you from? Oh, The Office place. Yeah, that's the one.
But you can't miss that. It was a great show, man.
Yeah,
I guess that's why you guys are so much fun, right?
I mean, it could be. You know, I like to think my mom raised me right. That's me.
Yeah.
No, she didn't. Not at all.
Well, right by somebody's measurement, I guess.
I don't know if any of us were raised right. We're all running around chasing rock and roll, or were we?
Oh. Little Jesse Ventura action.
Anyway, we wanted to say, Tony, thank you so much for joining the show. The album that's out right now is Calamity Scars and Memoirs. The single is Weathered and Worn, requested on your radio stations, obviously. And do you have a name for the next album? You're saying maybe by the end of the year. Is there a name in place yet?
Oh, man, there is, but I don't want to throw it out just yet.
Oh,
but yes,
A bit of the tease.
there is a name for it that is looking pretty stable as far as the way that we are going back and forth on it. But, yeah, and it basically means I'm coming to kick your ass.
All right.
I was going to say, if I guess it, will you tell me? Because I was going to
I don't know.
He's pulling out the dictionary. We don't want to start here.
I was going to say, is it going to be called Screw Record Labels?
Yes. Something along those lines, brother.
Well, Tony, you can come back on this show anytime and kick our asses. Before we let you go, can you do a plug party for us? Let us know where we can find you and where we can find the band.
Well, you can find us on Facebook, all the usual type places. Twitter, seasonsafter.com is where you can find our merch. You can get all of our music from Amazon, Walmart, all those great places. You know how the world works now. Find us on Instagram, or if you go over to our page, and this is something that we try to stay on top of with our personal pages. If somebody wants to hit me up, friend me, and I answer everyone back. It might take me a day or so, but I always try to answer anybody back, any questions, or just to shoot the crap for just a minute.
That's awesome.
Well, we're all going to friend you, and I think now the only question is how long is it going to be before he blocks us?
It's a game.
It'll be less than a day for me, that's for sure.
Unfollow, just kidding.
All right, seasonsafter.com. Grab that new album and look out for the next album. Tony Housh, thank you so much for joining the Gentleman Show.
Thanks, guys. Later.
It's said that love of money is the root of all evil, but we're pretty sure pursuit of poon has led to some bad shit too.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Just saying. You're listening to The Gentleman Show.